Okay, welcome to another prepared flight simulator video. Once again, I'm back here in the mountains of Colorado. I'm going to continue the hop in the first video. I went from KHDN to KGNB, then from there over to KEGE, which is where I'm at now. And now we're going to do a hop over to 0C02. And I've already got the instruments set up. If you didn't see the last hop, then you might want to check out the beginning of that video because I showed how I was configuring the GPS and everything. Okay, so I'm about ready to take off here. This is going to be another fairly short hop. You can see the distance is only 47 nautical miles, and we're going to take off and turn toward the south. We're going to fly at a heading of about 170 degrees. And once again, I'm not real sure how high the mountains are between here and our destination, but I do know that the destination has an elevation right at about 9,000 feet. So let me set the barometer, make sure that it's dialed in so that we have correct altitude readouts. Release the parking brake, and let's go ahead and set the flaps down one notch. You can hear those going down. And then just sort of a mental list, mental checklist if there's anything I need to do before we go. Let me turn all that information off so it's not in the way. And let me hide the menu bar. One of the things I've noticed about the simulators, I always have to click this twice. Watch, I'll click hide menu bar and it didn't go away. Now I'll do it again. And now it goes away. That's just one of the weird things. There's a whole list of weird things about this simulator. But again, unfortunately, they are being addressed in a lot of these are being addressed in version 2.1. I should probably have checklists that I actually go by rather than just trying to go off the top of my head, but I've never been one much for checklists, I don't guess. So I'm going to go ahead and center the viewpoint, at least while I take off and head down the runway. I guess I can tilt the camera down just a little bit. And then once we get airborne, I'll set the view more like that so we can see the instruments throughout the flight. Again, I have all these instruments on my second monitor, but the second monitor doesn't show up in the video playback. Alright, so let's get in the air. Let me check the throttle prop this time, because last time when I took off I had it set really low, so I'm going to go ahead and make sure that it's set to about 80%. And here we go, full throttle on the main. Require a little bit of right yaw to keep the wheels centered. And again, I don't know what takeoff speed is. I still haven't looked that up, but I think it's somewhere around here, so we're going to go ahead and pitch back. And we're in the sky. Landing gear up. And we'll just kind of fly the runway heading here until we get up a little higher. And you'll see, obviously, it's very fogged in. Can't really see where I'm going, so for all I know, I could be flying straight into a mountain. Well, let's hope that's not the case. Hopefully they didn't build a mountain right in front of the runway. Or rather, I guess that'd be the other way around. Hopefully they didn't build the runway right in front of a mountain. Let's go ahead and get rid of the flaps now. And I don't need to see the runway anymore, so we'll go ahead and tilt the view down just to watch the instrument panel, because there's really nothing to look at outside. Can't really see anything. It's completely fogged in. So we'll just kind of keep looking at the instruments and trust that everything's right. Okay, so I think we've gained about 1,000 feet. Let's go ahead and bank to the right. And I can see I've got the pilot heat on. I suppose I don't really need that because I can see that according to this information down here, the outside air temperature is 19 degrees Celsius. And off the top of my head, I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, but I believe it's pretty warm. So just while I'm thinking about it, let me turn the pilot heat off. That's right, it's one of the things that doesn't work in this version. Clickable the virtual cockpit, you pretty much can't click on anything, and it's in the list of things that's being fixed. So I'm going to have to go up top and click on one of the other panels. So we're just going to bank here. And there's actually a bug that somebody pointed out, and I didn't even actually notice this. I'll try to remember to mention it here in a second once I get everything under control. So I think we're pretty well turned. I'm going to say that's good enough because I'm going to be flying toward the GPS now. And let me go to 190. About right there. Now let's level out. Got a positive rate of climb, and even through the fog I can still see there's a good sized mountain right in front of me, so I'm going to make sure I put in some up elevator trim. That way I don't have to have so much back pressure on the stick, and hopefully we're going to clear that mountain. It's kind of intimidating how close it looks to be, but anyway, somebody pointed out in my very first video that I did, the one where I flew to KSC, that the glass cockpit view tells you that you're over speeding when you get up to just 200 KT, but it's wrong. This vessel has a higher cruise speed. If you look over here to this indicator, you can see that you're not over speeding until you get out here into the 250 range or so, and you wouldn't be able to get to that unless you went into a dive. So that's just one of the other glitches, and I'm not sure, I haven't read about that on the forum, so I don't know if that's going to be fixed or not. If I think about it, I'll post on their forum that that's an issue. But you can see here, just we're technically getting into the yellow zone according to the glass cockpit indicator, and then we're going to be getting into red eventually. But that's not correct, because over here this is the correct information. And we can actually see that. If I bring up the knee board here in a minute, if I remember to do that, I will. But let me just take a look at everything. We got a heading of 196, so we're trying to catch up to the GPS here. We could obviously fly at an angle, we don't have to catch up to it quickly. We could, fly at 190 or 180 and catch up to it farther down, but I'm just trying to get in line with it right away. And actually, I should probably pay attention to my altitude. Again, I don't really know how high I need to be. Go ahead and take out some of the elevator trim, though, and start leveling out around 13,000. I'll make 13,000 my target altitude for this flight. So we're coming up on that here in just another 100 feet. And I'm going to say that's probably going to be high enough, because I don't think, obviously we're not going to go down that far. So taking out a little bit more elevator trim, leveling out the airplane. And we're still at max throttle. Still gaining a little bit of speed here, you can see, so the nose will come up. Take out a little bit more elevator trim, because now we're going to be climbing and trying to level out the airplane around 13,000. Taking out a little more elevator trim, a little more. And we've got about 34 miles to go. And we overshot the GPS, so let me bank back now to the left. And we pretty well have level flight at this point. We're not climbing too much. But yeah, here you can see that the glass cockpit says we're over speeding, but clearly we're not, so some glitch. Take out a little bit more elevator trim. We're climbing way too much now. Pitch back just a little bit manually because I don't want to descend that much. Okay, we've now got a heading of about 164, so I suppose we'll catch up to the GPS track here in a moment. And take out just a little bit more elevator trim because we're still climbing. .28 miles to go. And descending, that's okay, because again we want 13,000 as our target altitude. I wonder if the GPS tells me if there's any obstacles in the way. We're still getting pretty far off track, so I'm going to bank a little bit more to the left. Pitching down manually just a little bit because we're climbing. Go with that and get ready to bank back to the right here in just a moment as that GPS needle catches up there at the according to our navigation. And I'm going to pitch down just a little bit more at the elevator trim because we're still climbing. Well, maybe not, because I can see here in front of me. Look at that forward view. Well, no, I guess we're okay. Yeah, we're up high enough. But you can see clearly, you know, these mountains are really high because off to our right, you know, those mountains are definitely higher than we are. All right, let's look at our instruments. And we need to begin banking to the right, catch up, get back in line with the GPS. Definitely not going to want to let myself descend at all, though. .19 miles out. It's almost hard to imagine that there's an airport anywhere in sight, given the height of these mountains. See if we can just stay at 13,000 though and still get over top of everything. Look at that. Besides being pretty, it's kind of intimidating at the same time because we're so, like, just barely scraping the treetops almost. Alright, keep an eye on our navigation. And yeah, let's not drop. We're gonna pull back to keep myself here at 13. And I definitely need to bank a bit to the left here to get in line with the GPS. Now we're only 14 miles out, so before long we're gonna want to start our descent. Very pretty view. I can't wait till Orbiter gets 3D terrain. Of course, it's not quite as important for Earth because you don't really spend that much time flying through the mountains in Orbiter. But it'll be cool for like lunar landings and things like that. Boy, I may need to climb some more. 'Cause obviously I have to go over top of this. Let me center the view to get a better idea. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and climb. I'm right at 13,000 feet right now. I'm going to go ahead and continue climbing until I get over top this, and then I imagine the airport's going to be right on the other side of that. Okay, so we've got a heading of 165. Let's go ahead and steer back towards 170 because we're perfectly in line according to the GPS at the moment. Make sure we don't descend at all. And let's pray to God we've got enough altitude to get over that peak right there. If not, this is going to be a collision. That is really close. That was really, really close. So I'd imagine 14,000 would be more practical for this particular jump. Okay, let's get get rid of some throttle here because we are 7 miles from the airport. So start descending, and we need to bank quite a bit to the left. So somewhere down there is an airport. 5 miles out. I'm not sure when I can put the flaps out. I think one problem I've been having consistently is that I put them out too soon. Go ahead and pull up a bit, slow things down. Can't see where I'm going. Probably have to fly over the airport, or I think it's actually just a grass strip. So we're down to 180, so let me go ahead and throw some flaps out. Help slow things down. Alright, bring the view up this way so I can see. Yeah, there's a good sized little peak right there we need to fly over top of. And the airport's just in front of us. I can't imagine where. It's actually, I think it's just a grass strip. Putting the flaps down another notch helps slow things down. Alright, since I can't see the grass strip or whatever it is, I'm just going to fly over top of it and then figure out how to circle back and land. We're only 1 mile out, so it's basically right in front of me. Ah, I can see it now, barely. Boy, that's going to be tricky. Alright, so let's... You can see it's right below me right now. So let's fly down the valley of ways. Turn around and come back. Actually, which way's the wind? Wind's out of the south. So this is kind of a crosswind situation. All right. Oh my gosh, I'm almost stalling. Okay, we're basically flying straight away from the runway. If you kind of look down, I'm using almost the GPS as a cheat, but just based on its alignment, I can tell that I'm more or less flying away from the runway. So we are now 2 miles out. That's not really far enough. Probably need to go out 3 or 4 miles. Just to have enough time to turn around and come back and be lined up. See if I can actually land this time without crashing. Just adding in a bit of throttle to get up over top of these hills. Okay, I'm going to start turning. First, I'm going to turn this way. Maybe a bit more than that, even. Fly down this way a bit. About, not quite a 90-degree angle to the runway. Take out some flaps for the moment. Okay, now I'm going to bank around and do a circle. head back toward the airport, the landing pad, landing strip, whatever it is, runway. And hope I don't hit anything between here and there. Can't see anything, so this is completely instrument. And we're almost turned around toward the runway. Okay, now we're flying back toward the runway. And we'll lower the flaps again, another notch. Now 4 miles straight in front of me, and I think I might actually even see the hint of the grass strip landing spot, maybe. And again, it is at an elevation of 9,000. Set the barometer, it's set. So 3.3 miles to go. And put the flaps the rest of the way down. Take out some throttle. 2 miles to go. Throw the gear down while I'm thinking about it. Not sure what the correct speed is for the gear, but looks like I'm a bit way far to the right of the runway though. Getting into some really thick fog now, that's great. Oh my gosh, I can't see anything. 10,000 feet. Oh, there's the runway. I think I flew past it again. Yep, darn it. Alright, let's try kind of a hairpin turn here. Bring up the throttle a bit. Okay, let's just lay the plane way over on its side and just do a quick hairpin turn. Make sure we don't stall. 85 knots, down to 80 knots, bringing up the throttle a bit. Trying not to descend. 80 knots. That didn't really work out too well. Boy, I don't know. If I bring it down here, will I have enough time to stop before they get to those trees? Let's find out. Here we go, Leroy Jenkins. Oh no. 50 knots, I'm gonna hit the trees. Crap. One of these landings will work, but that one wasn't entirely my fault because I couldn't see where I was going. Okay, well, if you like this part of the journey, go ahead and leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think of all this flight simulator stuff. And in the next part of the trip, we'll be flying out of this one, which was, again, that was 0COS. And we're going to be flying to KTEX. And the next leg of the journey, a little bit longer. Not too long, because I keep all these down to just, something that'll fit into a 30 or 40 minute flight. But the next one, it looks like it's going to be about maybe 65, 70 nautical miles. It's broken up into two parts, but I'll probably just do a direct flight. It's going to be, if I flew the VOR, it would be 24 nautical miles to the VOR, and then 50 kilometers to the airport from there. But I'm just going to probably fly direct. And then the airport at KTEX is also at 9,000 feet. And it actually has an ILS, so perhaps I'll do another fogged in trip over to that one, and then see if we can land in the ILS conditions, just all fogged in. Okay, well, once again, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.